Greetings for the day. Hi, I'm your friend and external member of your internal committee, Ekant Agarwal. You know me all very well. So today, let's discuss what is POSH in detail. In details, if I talk about POSH, I would like to highlight on the history and what is to be done as a IC and really giving you an insight that what led to this movement which is called as compliance of POSH. So starting from the history, POSH, how it started, actually this was a case of Banwari Devi from Rajasthan near to Jaipur in 1992. She was a social worker and was stopping child marriage, and there was a marriage in the village of a 9 months old infant. She was stopping that, and in retaliation, the families of Gujars attacked on Banwari Devi, gang raped her, and mercilessly gave beatings to the husbands of Banwari Devi, which led to outrage in the entire India, and the case was taken up by the High Court of Rajasthan, then further went to the Supreme Court. All the NGOs which are supporting Banwari Devi or which were supporting Banwari Devi led to the mass movement of saving women at workplace. And while this went out, Supreme Court gave its guidelines known as Vishakha Guidelines of 1997. Then this became the basis of the very act under which we are doing this, all compliances of POSH. The act is known as Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, as you all know. So this act came in 2013, and under this act, Section 4 is the main act which we need to take up as internal committee. People generally say this is internal complaint committee, but the view of the law and the authorities is that why only call it complaints committee? It is an internal committee. Maybe a complaint is genuine or not. So we will call it as internal committee. Full form will always remain as internal complaint committee, but it is actually called as internal committee, and you can definitely read the section 4 of the POSH Act. Now coming to the procedure part, because as a IC we have to deal with the procedure. The first step when some complaint comes to our email ID, our phone number, or the display boards which we have prepared for POSH is to take up the complaint in writing from the complainant. If the complaint is not in writing, we can call the complainant to a confidential room, a confidential meeting room, wherein she can write the complaint by hand and give it to us, so that there is no bogus email from the name of that lady or some other names, and the complaint is in original. Sharing a very classic case with you, I won't name the company, but yes, there came a case when there was a complaint. Lady came up and said, my hand is not working, there is a fracture in my hand, please write the complaint and I will sign it. One of the members of our POSH committee, of the internal committee, wrote the complaint, that lady signed, and next day she gave a police complaint stating that my signatures have been taken on a blank paper, and the IC was now astonished because the handwriting was of the presiding officer of the IC. So remember this, complaint in handwritten from the complainant. We are not going to assist to write the complaint, not even email for the complaint. Yes, we can receive the complaint in the email, take up the cognizance of the complaint, call the complainant in the meeting room, and get the complaint written in the written form on a piece of paper and accept it. Second procedure, once the complaint is received, we have to try for conciliation. Conciliation is one of the ADR. ADR means alternative dispute redressals, जिसमें बेसिकली हमने समझौता कराना है. सो काउंसिलिएशन इज समझौता, एंड हमने रिस्पोंडेंट की बात सुननी है, कंप्लेनेंट की बात सुननी है, आपस में उनकी रजामंदी करानी है. इफ इट हैपन्स like that, it is really good. Otherwise, then we will move to the formal inquiry. The procedure for formal inquiry is really simple. From the date of the occurrence of the event of the sexual behavior or sexual taunt or whatsoever happened under our policy as an offense, within 3 months the complaint has to be filed with us as the internal committee. If the complaint is of the act which is 4 months old, we do not have to entertain it. But yes, there is exception. If the act, the offense was so grave, lady was terrified, we can pardon that time limit and take up the complaint. Now the complaint is with us. We have 7 days in which we have to hear in person the complainant and have to forward a copy of the complaint to the respondent and tell the respondent to give us a response within 10 days. That is the time limit. Within 10 days, the respondent will reply to our complaint. All the proceedings will be confidential, not to be shared outside the IC, not even to the management. And once the inquiry is started, we will give opportunity to both the sides as per the laws, giving them fair treatments, giving them opportunity of being heard, giving them opportunity of providing evidences of statements or any documents they want to produce. The entire inquiry procedure cannot go beyond 90 days. Within 90 days, we have to complete this procedure. And while the duration of 90 days is going on, we can award interim relief also to the aggrieved women. How? We can transfer the respondent or the complainant herself. We can suspend the person who is respondent. We can give leaves to the complainant. So these are the measures as interim reliefs so that nothing more happens grave. And as a final, when the inquiry outcome comes, there are two things. One, if the complaint was substantial and we found that respondent is guilty, we can terminate that person, we can suspend, we can impose penalties, not necessarily monetary, but yes, a reprimand. We can always transfer that person, or as per our policy, which is there on our website and with us as IC, we can take these steps. If the complaint is not having any substance, it was a malicious complaint filed by that lady to take up some personal revenge, then the penalties we were talking about for the respondent can be given to that complainant also. Complainant can be terminated. She can be suspended. She can also be penalized. Promotions can be stopped. So this should not be used as a tool by anybody of our organization. Thereby, as IC, we are more responsible and we have to take care of our employees so that there is harmony, there is no sexual offenses, favors, innuendos, teasing, pornography, or anything which is detrimental to female employees. Thank you, my dear friends, for being a patient IC, listening to the training of how a IC has to take care of all its complaints. And in the end of every year, we have to file an annual report, which goes in the month of January for the preceding year. So this makes the complete training. Thanks a lot. We'll see you again sometime. Signing off.